Hey guys, how you going? Hope you're all doing very well. This evening I'm going to be doing a review of an action/crime film from Brazil, Portuguese language English subs, released in the year 2010, directed by Jose Padilha, and this movie is called Elite Squad: The Enemy Within. Now this is actually a sequel to Elite Squad. I haven't actually seen it. I don't think it's even been released here in Australia, but this one seems to be the more popular one. I have been told that you don't need to watch the first one to understand what's going on in this one, so hopefully it won't bother you too much. So the story to Elite Squad: The Enemy Within is as follows. Captain Nascimento is Commander-in-Chief of Rio de Janeiro's elite squad, a special task force and police militia tasked with the most difficult and dangerous cases. After a disastrous operation on a prison riot, Nascimento gets caught up in a bloody political dispute that involves not only government officials but also a deadly militia. Dismantling the complex web of allegiances is a job made all the more dangerous by Nascimento's realization that the very people that he should be able to rely on to support his mission could be his deadliest enemies. Adding to this professional challenge are his troubles at home, as Nascimento's ex-wife is now married to the newly elected state representative. Soon enough, his professional and personal life violently collide as he realizes his work attracts danger to his family. Is it too late to save his loved ones, as well as the city he worked so hard to protect? So this movie, it does center upon corruption in Brazil. The main character is Nascimento. He is a leader of the very controversial elite squad. Now this elite squad are a militia that are tasked with the most dangerous missions in the city of Rio de Janeiro. So at the start of the movie, there is a prison riot, and the elite squad are tasked with basically settling this problem. So they get to the jail. There is one thing leads to another, and tragedy strikes. And so the media, they see this as an opportunity to basically disband the elite squad because they feel their methods were a little bit too excessive, and so Nascimento, as leader of the elite squad, is coming under fire. So the pressure is building on his career life, but then his personal life is getting equally as complex because he realizes that his ex-wife's new boyfriend is the state representative, and the state representative is the one that wants to basically ruin Nascimento for what's happened in this police riot. So Nascimento's family's got an ex-wife and a son. He's trying to juggle his personal life with his professional life, and his professional life, as it keeps on going along, he is uncovering more and more secrets, and he realizes that the people that he should be able to rely on could also be his deadliest enemies. So that's all I'm going to give you on the synopsis. If you want to know more, please go out there and see this film for yourself. Now, my thoughts on the film. This isn't the first movie that really does depict corruption in South America, and that's not only a problem that confines itself to South America, but it's more a case in South America because I feel that the difference between the rich and the poor is very wide, and there's no real in between. So it shows you the vulnerabilities of the poor people and how these rich, sort of corrupt people can basically control them. So it's kind of like they're puppets, and it's very scary at what these rich people are willing to do to exploit the weaknesses that are in the poor people. And it kind of feels like the poor people aren't even considered as human beings because the way they're being treated, not only in this film, but another film from Brazil called City of God, it really does depict life in the slums. It's a very depressing lifestyle, and you can tell that people are feeding off the vulnerabilities of these weak people. And it's not only a problem in South America, it goes all over the world. You know, when you're very weak and you're very vulnerable, you're an easy target to be controlled. And this movie, it does send out that sort of message in a very, very chilling way. I thought that the things that happen to these poor people and that the way that these corrupt higher people talk about the poor people was really chilling because they don't really consider these people as human beings. And as I said, that is the case with a lot of people around the world. So it's not only confined to South America, but I felt that this movie really does depict that very, very vividly. Now, it is a very well-made film. The camera was kind of shaky, which was a little bit of a negative. I will go into reasons why a little bit later, but it was very well shot. The colouring was very good. It captured a very authentic feeling. The acting was very good. There were a lot of characters, which also is another negative to the film, but from the characters that they had, they were all not so much in depth, but they were rich enough for you to really separate them from each other. And I thought the story, the twists and turns, once again, contributes to its downfall, but also has a positive to it as well. So it kind of keeps you interested, and that's something that a film wants to do, and that's, for the most part, this is what this film does. Now, it goes for 110 minutes, and it kind of feels like it goes for 110 minutes, but it never really drags. So I felt that the continuity of the film worked relatively well. I thought the acting was very good, and it is a very violent film. So, as you would expect, a film based in the slums, it is, as I said, very violent, and some of it is very hard to watch. Now, the character of Nascimento was very well done once again. I thought he had a sympathetic quality, he had a lot of pressure put on him, and you kind of felt that although you didn't really care if he came out of it alive, you kind of had a feeling that you wanted to see him, because it kind of feels like as the movie progresses, the good people in the film are getting less and less. And Nascimento is a guy who basically is a good guy, but he has a dark past. So it kind of feels like the characters are three-dimensional and they're very realistic. So it is a very realistic portrayal of corruption. So for that, I would say definitely worth the effort to go and see. Now, my problem with the film, and that prevents it from being a great film, was the fact that I felt a little bit overwhelmed. Now, the camera is very shaky, so it kind of disorientates you a little bit, which is what the film didn't need. Now, why I say that is because it felt like the director had so many ideas, and although the ideas are clear enough, when they gel together, it doesn't quite fit. It kind of feels like you're overwhelmed by what's happening, because you've got all of these characters who are coming into the play. Kind of felt like a spin-off from Goodfellas, and it had a little bit of action thrown in there. So it kind of feels like it doesn't know what it wants to be. It's a very ambitious film, I should say, and that the director, he wanted to put so many elements of genres into this film, and when they combine, it's not an awful feeling, but as I said, it's a feeling of being overwhelmed. You've got subtitles to contend with, you've got the shaky camera that disorientates you, and then you've got all of these characters, and you keep reminding yourself, who is that guy? Who is this guy? How does this guy fit into this? How does that guy fit into that? So you kind of feel to yourself that you're trying to sort out what's going on instead of going with the film. So a few times I had to rewind to really get what was going on, and I just felt that the reason why that was happening was because the director has taken so much, he's put it out in front of you, you're kind of trying to catch up with the film, but the film kind of stays ahead of you. So for that, I really felt like it was more of a chore to actually see this film than it was to really enjoy it. It's not a film that you're going to go out and enjoy. I felt that, yeah, as if you're a native Brazilian and you don't need subtitles, you could keep up with it a lot better. But if you're from a foreign land, you don't know Portuguese, this might be a little bit difficult to keep up with. It might take more than one viewing. And for a film to be great, I felt that that negative was a really big, it's something that pulled the film down. Fortunately, it doesn't prevent it from being a good film, but it really should have been a little bit better than it actually was, because overall it is very good. But as I said, it has a lot of ideas. He puts it into one, and you kind of feel like you're a little bit overwhelmed. You're kind of trying to keep up with it. You're trying to see how all the pieces fit, but then the movie leaves you behind. So for that, I am going to give it one less star than it may have got. I was actually expecting this to be a masterpiece, but unfortunately for those reasons, it does fall a little bit short. So overall, I'm going to give it 4 stars. Another very good film from Brazil, but unfortunately, as I said, just a little bit too complex for its own good. So 4 stars for Elite Squad, The Enemy Within. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed that review. Until next time, keep watching movies, and I'll see you later. Bye.